Welcome to Building AI Boston. Our guest today is Molly Mahoney. She's a digital marketing strategist, keynote speaker, book author, musical theater legend, both as a coach and performer from Broadway to Vegas and around the world. Today, we break down her views on AI and how she created a seven-figure online business, The Prepared Performer, that is proof that AI and authenticity are not opposites. Molly, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm so glad to be here. We're going to have a blast.
We are going to have a blast. So Chris and I are excited. Chris, this is kind of a launch, I feel, of a friendship. Welcome to Chris and meeting Chris's superpower. By way of explanation, Chris and I had a podcast doing storytelling, and this was during the pandemic. So we're on air every single day on podcast and radio. And while we were doing this gig, nobody thought to do social media. Right? Crazy. And meanwhile, Molly was busy cracking the code on Facebook Live. And if I may say, you were making bank teaching people to find their inner awesome. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that story and what you were up to? Why did you go from Broadway to coaching business?
Yeah, I mean, and the Facebook Live stuff was something that came out of an opportunity, right? So after doing all of my work in New York and Vegas and cruise ships and all of that as a singing, dancing, musical theater lover, I met my husband, who was a bass player. We toured the world with a flying car with the national tour of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It was so fun. It was awesome. And we wanted to have kids. So we left our 400 square foot apartment in New York, moved back out to California. And I found myself wanting to teach other people to do what I had done in New York and all of this. So I launched my company, The Prepared Performer, initially as a coach for singers and actors to help them both with their singing, their audition skills. And I launched a live event called the Ghost Light Vocal Jam. It was a Broadway themed open mic. It was really awesome. And then I found myself realizing that I could do something more scalable if I taught them how to do things online. So I had this brilliant idea to be the cure for the starving artist syndrome. And that was like the tagline for this program. And guess how many membership spots I sold in that program?
Crickets.
Zero.
Oh,
like
really?
actually
Wow.
zero, which I'm so glad, because then if I had sold one, then I would have been stuck teaching that to one person. But I learned so much in that failed launch. I had pre-recorded the whole entire thing, decided never to do that again. I now sell it first. I validate my offers, and I'm careful about the messaging, because when you call someone a starving artist, turns out they don't want to pay you.
You remind them why they can't afford you.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right.
What was I thinking? And I had such good intentions, but it didn't work out. So I made a giant list of all the things I love to do. I made a giant list of all the things I thought people would pay me to do. And then I made a list of the opportunities that were available like in the world. And one of the things that came together that clicked all the boxes was teaching people how to show up on camera, and Facebook Live was brand new. So instead of teaching performers how to have a business, I decided to teach business owners how to perform. Much better idea. And so we brought in $50,000 within the first 3 months. It was so awesome. We launched the whole thing in an empty Facebook group. I had a spreadsheet where I wrote down 30 different things that I wanted to teach. So I went live every single day in that Facebook group. I sold it for $47 for lifetime access. One of the craziest things I've ever done.
Wow.
By the time we closed that Camera Confidence program, we were selling it for $5,000. And everybody who joined at the $47 rate got grandfathered or grandmothered in. And it's been just an awesome strategy to use in the future too. So it's been good.
That's amazing. Chris, don't you wish we'd met her back in this day? I mean,
Oh my God.
how many Facebook Lives did you and I do? Like 2 in 4 years?
Everything was a struggle. Not because of us. And just for the record, I was trying to do social media. We literally got poo-pooed about doing social media. They were like, "You can't do that. Who's doing
That's not
that?
going to do anything.
That's not going to do anything."
It's crazy. Molly, when I dive into your goodies online, and everybody should check out your website, remind me, it's the preparedperformer.com.
Yeah, if you go there, you'll find the archives of tap dancing and all that. But I've actually decided recently, because my tap dance terminology page was the #1 search result on Google until about a year ago. And that isn't what I'm doing, newsflash. So I decided to move to mollymahoney.com, but the preparedperformer.com still has loads of magic. Just mollymahoney.com is the more up-to-date AI stuff and all of that.
Yeah, and so this is really crazy too, Chris. In like 2021, long before AI was a buzzword, you launched like the world's first AI-focused content membership. Is that what you've been talking about, or is that new or different? That's it.
No, it's wild. Yeah, totally. So no. So the one that I was talking about before was called Camera Confidence. That was in 2016. So we had like 3 big major monumental moments. So 2016 with Facebook Live, it was awesome. And I ended up partnering with so many tools as their like spokesperson or brand ambassador, where they would pay me to do videos about their tool, which was awesome.
Wow.
Then after Facebook Live, when Messenger bots came out, I started combining automated messages with live video, and it was wild. And that's where I first really realized this gift that I have for taking things that are technical and complicated and making them, like you guys are doing, telling stories, making it user friendly, making it engaging. And so ManyChat hired me to speak on their behalf about messenger bots and automation. So my fascination with the robots actually started back in 2018. And then when AI came out 2 years before ChatGPT, we started working with the company that's now called Jasper. And man, I just loved everything they were doing. And so we launched the AI Content Club, was actually called Dancing with Jarvis when it first started. And it was about how to dance with the robots, because you have to know that you're not going to get a perfect answer every time. And it's like an ebb and a flow. So that was wild. And then now it's just gotten even crazier as we've grown. So it's pretty awesome.
What's one of the biggest challenges that you had trying to get people to buy into incorporating that? The automation.
Well, I think in the beginning, the problem was actually the same as it is now, which I was going to say there was like a change in it. But I think really it's that people are fundamentally afraid of losing their humanity. And so that is where we really, this is a big secret. We use AI as a Trojan horse, because when people join our programs, yes, we have amazing systems for AI, but really the core of it is that you have to figure out who you are as a human being first. And for some reason, when you dangle the AI agent carrot on this side, they'll actually do the work that is needed to be done. Before we had the AI carrot, they were like, yeah, I don't really need to know that. But now, because of how fast AI goes, it slaps them back in the face with how bad their messaging is.
I love how Chris and I leaned in like it was a big secret.
When he said secret, I was like, yeah.
You heard it here first, kids. It's just a carrot. It's a Trojan horse. I love that.
In a way, it makes sense. I mean, it's the shiny new thing you're dangling in front of somebody that they haven't used before.
Well, and I do think it's amazing. Like, no joke. I think it's amazing, and I'm certifiably obsessed with it. But I think there are a lot of people right now who I call easy bake AI experts, where they're not actually taking the time to go and figure out who they are as humans and bring their own expertise in.
Right.
And it's at no fault to them, because there's a lot of people teaching you how to be an easy bake AI expert, where they're just giving you a template, telling you to duplicate it, and then giving you a script to go make sales. And that is where we get into trouble, because people don't actually really take the time to bring their true expertise to the forefront. So it's an interesting, tricky time, I think.
And you say something, one of your value claims is really like, you don't have to sell your soul to the social media gods. I mean, I've had people tell me you got to be posting 3 times a day. You disagree with that?
I totally disagree with it. And I can tell you, if you want to go crazy viral, there's things that you can do. Like, I had one video, I don't remember if we talked about this before, but I had one video that hit a reach of 39 million views.
I saw that on your site. Yeah. What was the video?
Okay. Before I tell you what the video was, Facebook paid me $30,000 for that one 13-second video.
Awesome.
Facebook is not doing that anymore. They pay like $100 for 30 million views. Not really, but it's not like it was before. But the reason that I posted this was because I knew Facebook was doing this wild thing with Reels when they were trying to be TikTok, right? So rather than following my normal strategic system for social media, I went through my phone and I just scrolled until I found something that I thought was weird. So
Pay attention, Chris.
yeah, okay. And I'm going to tell you like the good about this, and then I'm going to tell you the bad about this too. So I just scrolled. The video that I found, which I don't always share in public because it's kind of embarrassing, but the video that I found was me I was like holding my phone. So you couldn't see me. I wasn't in the video. And I was whispering. So it was very ASMR. And I was recording the bathtub with a bath bomb in it. So it was like this pink, it looked like the Slimer in the newer Ghostbusters, which it was around the same time that Ghostbusters came out. So I think that helped also. So it was like a trending topic. So it was like pink slime. And then it was me. When I first found the video, all you could hear was me saying, I was about to get in the bath and with this awesome bath bomb. And I thought, oh, is that lavender? Because there was like little specks. And then I say, no, they're flipping termites.
That one went viral.
Wait, because so I was like, oh, this video is weird. It'll grab people's attention. So then I put on top of that, I'm never taking a bath again was the hook that I put. And then, no, I know it was, I got in the bathtub and saw this ... with like big eye emojis. And then the caption was, I'm never taking a bath again. But then I paired it with the trending sound, that song, oh no, oh no, oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, right? So about 2 weeks after posting it, it had hit. I like looked in my Facebook to show my clients how to see their stats and their analytics, and it had hit 7 million views. And I was like, what? Like not even something I expected, right? I knew I was playing with the gimmicky, clickbaity, whatever. Eventually it ended up hitting 39 million. But the reason that it hit 39 million is because all of these like bug experts were arguing about what kind of bugs they were. And then these people that I didn't even know would like chime in and like full on cuss people out because people were like, there's no way that came from the bath bomb. Like, why the F are you telling her where it came from? It's her effing bathtub. Like people were all yelling at each other. And then I realized my adrenaline levels during that like 2-week period were not healthy. Like, I was like so jacked that I would force myself to badly play the piano on live streams just to calm myself down and like stay focused. And then people in the chat would be like, tell us about the video. Like everyone was going crazy about it. But in that moment, I decided I didn't want to play social media that way.
That's
Right.
so funny.
Right.
So
right.
I sold a course on how to do it, teaching other people. So we ended up making $160,000 off of that one video because we made 130 selling a course on how to do it. Because I can teach you how to do it. And then again, Trojan horse people to say like, yes, I'll give you what you want, but then I'm also going to give you what you need, which is an actual sales system behind the scenes. And we have to let our ego go about the viral numbers because even today I'm like, oh, but don't I want to do something that'll go viral? No, I want to do something that is going to serve the right people at the right time and be more strategic about it. In my business anyway, that's how we do it.
Cool.
Yeah, Chris is always mentioning this to me. Like, it's great to have this show where we talk about AI, but if it's not relevant,
Yeah.
and I can't think of anything more clever than a hook like that. I mean, that's what people want to do is trickier social media and cool stuff with AI. And I think just proving that they can, I love the book title, AI-ify their business. When did that book come out?
2023, maybe.
Okay, so people are just ramping up to kind of start using.
Yeah, so it's right. It's really more of a business book and then how you can interject AI into the different levels. So I'm due for the next version of it because now we're doing so much with AI. Like that book was more about putting the right prompts in the right place. It's very platform agnostic, but I'm getting ready to go on a cruise. And I think on this cruise, I'm going to write the second version of it because we're definitely due because there is some wild things that we're doing with AI.
Ooh.
So is that what you're talking about as far as the course? That's the AI Content Club?
So we have the AI Content Club is mainly where we help people to create content with AI that generates leads. So it's not like viral content. I mean, there's some stuff on that in there, but mainly it's content that generates leads. And then we have a next level above that called AI Stars, where in there we have 7 different AI certifications. We help you to truly build out a team of AI agents in your business. And it's more for people who either really want to add a full AI infrastructure into their business, or those who want to sell AI services. So we have both of those things in there. And it gives the whole gamut of the business, where the content club is really focused on content.
Got it. So it's the 2 levels of that are getting people in to your business and then actually restructuring parts
and running
of the
your
business.
Yeah,
got it.
Totally. Yeah.
Love it. Hey, Chris, listen to this mission statement. This is for you and I now. The more fun you have, the more money you make, and the more lives you change. I can't agree more. And yet there are a lot of people just scratching their head about that. Can you talk about the authenticity piece for this reason? Like if you think, I mean, there's a lot of epic fail going on in business right now and scaring people out of, thinking they're going to lose their job. But what's the upside? Why is it a good idea to be a fierce advocate for joy right now?
Oh my gosh, yes, with my Stand for Joy shirt that I'm wearing
Yes.
today. Standing for joy is a fierce form of activism. So even if we just look at this from like a business growth standpoint, different is better than better. And if everyone is talking about the fear behind AI and the serious side of AI, simply by having more fun, you're going to stand out. So that's going to allow you to attract people in a way that stands out from the sameness. I was talking to someone this morning about how there's so many AI training websites that are all beige and like serifed font, and they're so lovely and beautiful. And then there's me who's like, here's a disco ball and a palm tree, right? Like it makes it so that you stand out. And the disco ball and the palm tree may not be your thing, but maybe your thing is like, I was talking to Michael Hyatt about this the other day, that his thing is like the compass and the North Star. And it's very, we didn't say this word, but it's almost very like sophisticated nautical kind of, not in like the ship way, but like an explorer kind of, not necessarily nautical, but you know what I mean by that? Like the maps and that kind of stuff, which makes his brand stand out as well. And I'm just talking about on the visual side of it, right? But when you figure out what makes you weird and you weave that into your business, you are going to actually enjoy your business more, which, what a novel concept, right? I think we build ourselves into these holes and then we don't actually like what we're doing. And then we're not bringing freedom. We've replaced ourselves with another set of handcuffs or something that we don't, and not even cute, like sparkly handcuffs, just like boring burlap handcuffs. I don't know. Burlap has its own place. So maybe that's your style, but
that's something you hear on our show.
Shame anybody.
Yeah.
What is it? So in all of these, in all of the companies that you've worked with, and you don't need to tell me a specific name necessarily, but like, do you have one that stands out for you as like one of your favorites that you've helped incorporate?
Yeah, I can tell you, and I'll tell you a name. So we used to fully build out the AI bots in the back end of people's businesses. At this point now, we're really focused, staying in our lane on teaching people, but we actually built out all of the AI assistants in the backside of Marie Forleo's B School, which was so cool. And she's just like the greatest human, and also so freaking specific about what she wants. And also like, so, talk about a dream client who has everything, got her ish together behind the scenes. So the way that we did it, we built out these individual tools that are based on her frameworks. And she has these things called fun sheets. So they help people to complete the work. And she was really big about being analog AF and not wanting AI to take over everything. But one thing that we did that was so great, and it would be really awesome if I would build something like this for myself, but what we did for her was, I had this idea to take a character, like an AI avatar, instead of having the videos explaining how to use the tool coming from her, because she was like, I don't know if I have time to do all those videos. We made an AI avatar, like a cartoon character called the B School Buddy. And then the B School Buddy did all of the training videos. So my amazing team member, Kevin, created all these videos with HeyGen and then did really awesome automation or animation with it, teaching people how to use the tool. So that's probably like my proudest AI build that we've done.
That's
so
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
That
A little
is
bit of
cool.
AI, a little bit of like instructional design as well, it sounds like.
Yeah, totally. Because we knew that not everybody would be familiar with the tools, and we didn't want to have all this like, backup and support trying to learn how to use them. So each tool came with its own video instructing how to use it, which was really cool.
Very cool. Yeah, that sounds super engaging too. I bounced over and looked at the site really quick. I'm gonna have to explore that.
Yeah, it was super awesome.
Very cool.
We chatted about something. I want you to explain this to both Chris and I. Is what is the quesadilla of awesomeness?
Okay. The quesadilla of awesome is a very important system that I actually invented when I was auditioning for things in New York. And I went to an audition, and I'm sure you guys will understand this. I went to an audition where I was not a member of the Actors Equity Union yet. So I was a non-ec, as you call them back in the day.
Mhm.
And at this time at the Actors Equity building, they wouldn't let you into the area where the auditions were held. It was a long time ago. It was very different. But you'd have to sit out in the hallway and wait for them to open up the opportunity to audition. And so after being at the audition for several hours, I needed to use the restroom. And I went up to the woman at the front desk and I was like, "Hey, I'm here for the audition. Like, can you point me towards the restroom?" And she said, "Do you have an equity card?" And I was like, no, but I'm here for the audition. I've been here for a couple hours." And she said, "Yes, you can walk down the stairs and around the corner. There's a McDonald's in Times Square."
Yikes!
I don't know if you've been in the McDonald's in Times Square, but it is like not the most friendly place to hang out. So
I've been to that one. That's weird. Chris is from New York, so we get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And this was a little rougher New York back then, before they had like blocked off Broadway and all that. So in that moment, I was like, I don't know if this is like the best thing for my spirit and my sanity and my soul. So that was one of only 2 auditions that I've ever left. So I decided, I packed up my shoes and my music and all my stuff, and I went home to use the restroom. But on my walk home, I realized that I needed to stop coming into these auditions trying to prove myself to someone else. I needed to come in with my own sense of who I was. And when I started working with performers, and then when I started working with business owners, I realized it was the same exact like lack of worth that was coming up for sales calls or for videos or things like that. So I created this thing called the Quesadilla of Awesome, which is where you make a list of 20 things that make you a uniquely awesome human being. And then when you have this list, there's a process that we go through where you fill yourself up with this awesome, but it's also now something that you fill AI up with. So AI understands what makes you unique, what makes you different. And if you don't understand that, how do you expect AI to understand that? It's great for networking, sales calls, content, all of it. It's amazing.
What makes it a quesadilla?
Well, the point is,
I'm just teasing.
No, there is something. Yes, because okay.
I do want to know.
Everyone has something that makes
questions.
them uniquely awesome. Even if it's just that you make an amazing quesadilla. Because what do you put in your quesadilla?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
Hey, that's a good point. So, like right now, what kind of quesadilla would you want?
I put some cheese in, like Monterey Jack.
Ooh, okay, very different.
I put some maybe pickled jalapenos.
Okay, a spicy quesadilla.
Some grilled chicken.
Okay.
And maybe some peppers.
I love it. Okay, now question. Have you ever had a quesadilla with fig jam in it?
No.
It's real good.
See, I would do the fig jam, and I want to say, Chris and I are always threatening to be weird together. We have a closet list of weird ideas, and I even call it the Wikipedia of weird. Chris, give me the eye roll, because like our kookology.
I don't think I've ever heard you say Wikipedia.
Talked about kookology, where we talk
kookology, sure. But
literally, our quesadilla is stacked from the word go as children with weird parents who were dove into weird conspiracy theories.
My dad was a UFO investigator.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my dad liked everything UFO, and this is how we met. We met at a party here in this studio where I'm sitting right now, Dog and Pony Studio, and I immediately, the next day, Chris called me and said, "What do you want to podcast about?" And I'm like, "Great, he's into something." And then we've done everything but what we're really good at. So
yeah,
Building AI Boston crowd. You heard it here first. Chris is nudging me out the gate with just storytelling, which is what we've won awards for together. And we used ChatGPT to prompt us to, what's your story for next week? We did this last week. I'm giving the
what's our
announcement here.
topic? What's your topic?
What's
Okay,
your
yeah.
You said,
topic?
what topic do you want to talk about? And I said to ChatGPT, give me a topic to talk about.
And it was memory, but I was so excited. I thought I've never been this excited since Chris and I did the daily. Because that's his superpower. That's my superpower, and we're gonna own that. We forget. But you know what, Molly? I think it was because you and I chatted, and I went, "What are we good at? Like, what do we really
Yeah.
love doing?" And I just want to say we need more female voices. You and I chatted about this. I mean, look at how a girl got shamed for saying women should learn AI. Our friend
Dude, I did another podcast this morning and we were talking about it also, and it's so ridiculous to me. And I think we just really need more voices, more human voices in the mix. So props to Reese Witherspoon for being a part of the conversation.
Yeah, and I think it did what it was supposed to because there was so much backlash. You heard this, of course, right, Chris? Chris is a news hound. Yeah.
I'm the one that sends you news stories.
I know. Hey, Chris, what's going on in the world? I don't get out enough, but Chris is a news hound and done a lot of like fan sites and is a really good bloodhound for a story. But yeah, I just think, why shame a girl for making a statement?
Can we say one other thing about that? Because this morning I was talking about this. There's another thing that people were shaming her for, not just the AI piece, but another thing that came up. And for those of you that don't know what happened, Reese Witherspoon did this video in her kitchen, like making a smoothie, and said, "I've been thinking lately, I think we should have more women learning about AI. Do you want to learn with me?" That's like the very truncated version of her video. So I had commented like almost the same day, like same hour, whatever, right away when she posted it, because a bunch of people had tagged me. And so I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm stoked that she's going to be talking about this. And then all of the like AI slop, like death to AI comments came in. And then I started seeing all of these posts from people who were saying that it was an undisclosed ad and that really she had an AI offer on the back end, and that it should have said #ad in this because she was doing this to promote something else on the back end, which I'm like, okay, y'all, she actually followed the quintessential best social media strategy that we teach, which we call Whitneying. And you guys will love this.
There's a name for this, right?
So you know the song "I Have Nothing" by Whitney Houston?
Yes.
Okay. In that song, Whitney Houston starts it off, "You see through," right? It's like, oh,
that was
okay.
That was really beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. ASMR. Okay.
So we're like, what, Whitney? What are you saying? Right? And then she gets to the part where she's like, I don't really need to look, right? And it's like grittier.
Yep. I was about to start singing with you. Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead, Bob. You got Chris going. Okay.
I love it. And then she gets to that, "Don't make me close one more door," right? It gets like crazy there. And we're like, okay, yes, Whitney. But then she pulls it back a little bit and is like, "If I don't have you," right? Then you hear that, and then you're like, listening again. And then what does she do? She does it, "Don't make me close one more door." But then she goes, "Don't make me close one more door," right? And then she's like fully key changing and belting her face off. And at that point, everyone wants to throw their credit cards at her face.
Right.
That is exactly what Reese Witherspoon was doing by validating the offer and putting out a little like teaser there. And why on earth would we chastise her for that? Like, I think she's putting it out there to see if people are interested. And as women, men, aliens, whatever, we should be cheering on humans that are actually out there to do some good and make some money on it so they can do more good. Like, I am so deeply disheartened by the other women I have seen do full videos about how bad it was that she was promoting something. Like, what on earth are you talking about?
Yeah, I think
off my soapbox.
I mean, I think we liked you on your soapbox.
Mic drop. Yeah.
I think that a lot, I mean, my perspective on the whole thing was that a lot of the backlash, it wasn't so much directed at hers. It was just anger about AI.
Yeah.
Just as a whole. And just because I've seen enough online that anything that comes up about AI, you get a ton of people that just jump in and just want to talk about AI slop. It's data centers doing this, data centers doing that. Valid things.
Totally.
Obviously.
Agreed.
But that said, it's like they just apply it blanket to anything AI. at this point. I'm surprised to see how divisive it's become, like within the last even just few months.
Yeah. And I think there's more room for conversation around the good as well. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's what we're
Yeah.
trying to do here. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I wore my Stand for Joy shirt today, because
Yeah.
I was going to be recording several podcasts today, and I was like, I'm going to stand for AI joy all day long.
Yes.
Well,
Love it.
I think I found that early on. The only thing that got presented to me back when Chris and I were doing stories for a living was somebody said to me, "Yeah, ChatGPT can do your job," and I immediately recoiled. And I did a throwdown, I think, in one of our sessions, Chris, where I'm like, I'm going to write a limerick for National Limerick Day, and then you give me your AI slop, because I was really nasty about losing my job to a robot. And of course I crushed it. Of course we're better than AI. But at that point, I don't think it was presented to me in a very nice way. And I think a lot of people are salty thinking they're going to lose their job.
I think they're scared, right? They're salty and scared. There is major fear. Have you guys heard about this thing called the blue dot flu?
Yes, I actually have. Yes.
No, I feel like it's
Do you want to explain what
No,
it
you
is,
explain it.
Molly?
You explain it. I
Okay,
can, but
so
you do.
this is my understanding of it. Jump in as I'm going.
Okay.
So the blue dot flu is, so there's concerts that are out touring the country. And when you go on Ticketmaster, when it says that there's an available seat, it's a blue dot.
Right? It's all the little blue dots that you could buy those spots.
So people, when they're not going to concerts, they're saying that, you know, like say, like, I'm just picking a random, I don't know why this
Post Malone was one that I heard about.
Yeah, Post Malone was who I was going to say. Post Malone, like, he's suffering from blue dot fever. And
blue
it's
dot
because
fever or blue dot flu.
Blue dot flu. Yeah, I'm sorry, I said the wrong word. Blue dot
No,
flu.
I keep mixing
and
it. Yeah.
Specifically because those dots are empty seats. And when they get enough of those empty seats, they're like, oh, I'm not feeling well. I think we're going to cancel this part of the tour.
I hadn't heard. I'm glad that I had you explain it, because I hadn't heard. I thought it was that they were just canceling because of low ticket sales, and then it was like causing them to feel bad afterwards. I didn't realize they were saying that's why he was canceling, because he has the blue dot flu.
I don't know if it was him.
Really funny.
Yeah, I don't know if it was him specifically, but I do know that there were some artists that they mentioned in the article or the video that I watched that were talking about how, oh, I'm suffering from exhaustion. I got to take a few nights off. We're going to cancel these tours, these dates, reschedule them. And it was because they just weren't selling in those places.
Which is really sad. And it's such a huge reflection of, like, do I think AI is now doing concerts that are taking over and selling well? No. But I think that we're in a really interesting time where people are craving more human connection than ever. Prices are going up. And so if ticket sales are so expensive also, or traveling to get to a show is expensive because of like gas prices and whatnot, I think that it is a really interesting time where we need humans, and maybe even like locally, because I will say our local children's theater, we had 113 kids in a production of Shrek. There was no blue dot fever at that production of Shrek because it was totally sold out. So it's an really interesting time.
It's an interesting time. Go ahead, Chris.
There was there's a clip that's from years ago, probably like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
With it's on MTV, and they're like interviewing Nirvana and talking about how expensive concert tickets are and how they they keep their tickets cheap for their fans. And they say something like, oh, well, they say to Kurt Cobain, like, yeah, like some people are charging like $50 a ticket, which seems quaint now, right? But he just goes like shocked. He goes, who's $50 a ticket? and they're like, oh, that's Madonna. He goes, oh, of course, Madonna, you know, of course she can charge $50 a ticket. And now it's like, if I find a concert that's $50, I'm like, oh my God, bargain.
Right.
I know.
Right. I got a $50 Virgin Airlines ticket to LA once, and and that was the best flight experience.
I was going to say, and I'm so sad that Virgin Air is gone, because it always matched my brand. Like, I look like I'm on a Virgin plane right now.
Yeah.
You do. Well, you know, I was going to ask, you know, for people that want to know, can you be seen on stages anywhere? Are you doing a lot more public speaking? You want to?
Yeah, actually. So, okay, two things. One is, yes, I'm speaking at a lot of events, you know, conferences, like I just did Social Media Marketing World. Coming up this year, I have AI Marketing World, Eugentic. Hopefully I'll be doing something at the High Level event. That's like my favorite. I mean, they're all my favorite, but I really love the High Level event called Level Up. And so AI Marketing World is going to be awesome. There's lots of really cool things that I'm speaking at. And we did something super wild last week, which I didn't even make this connection. So thank you for asking that question. But back to the idea of wanting to do things in person and doing them locally. I wanted to go back to New York to see Beaches, which I'm a producer on. So I wanted to see the musical Beaches in New York. And I decided I was going to find a way to like make it work money wise for me also. So I launched a 1-day intensive called Bots and Broadway, where we're going to be doing an implementation day where I'm going to help them build their own AI agents. I will actually install our AI agent system into their business. Like they'll bring their computers, we'll set the whole thing up. And then that night, I'm going to take everybody to dinner, and then we're all going to go see Beaches. And because I'm working with the production, like I'm going to be able to give them like a full, magical experience with swag and blah, 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 all these things. And this is basically a different version of what we've been selling here, where we sell pretend cruises. Did I tell you this, Anna?
No. What? I know. Chris, clear your calendar. Let's do this. Why are we not following?
We've ever had at one pretend cruise. We had 120 people RSVP for our last one. I didn't count them as they came in, but it was definitely over 100 people. And it's all cruise ship themed. Usually we do some sort of teaching or implementation. That one was a part of Social Media Marketing World, so it was just a party. But we're building an event space at our house actually to do these pretend cruises. So I was like, how can I do these other places? Well, I just find something fun to do in the area. So my team this morning sent me this copy that we're going to use for we do these auctions that are really fun online, and we're going to do a new auction with Camp Claude. And so we're doing all these things with Claude, but we're making an experience, not just like go sit and watch a boring video, but come and hang out with human beings and build your AI team so you can spend more time with humans.
That's phenomenal. Your quesadilla is better than mine. And I just
That's not true. That's not true.
I'm not having enough fun. I've been playing around with Claude. I got to give a shout out. Our co-host Cara just struck a deal with Anthropic and her legal justice app. You don't know this, Chris, but this is a big news this week.
No, that's amazing.
Describe is now with Anthropic. So, hey, Cara, we're going to be whooping it up in Boston Tech Week. We have to get you to a live event somewhere where the three of us are just like hitting the ground and having a good time.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm making a prediction that we're going to do that. You also have a podcast. You want to tell us a little bit more about your podcast?
Yeah. So I have a secret story about my podcast also, actually, which I don't say out loud very often. So my very first podcast was called the Prepared Performer Podcast, and it's all about acting and auditioning and things like that. It is out there in the ethers. You can go find it. Since then, I have launched 2 other podcasts. One is called the Glam, Go Live and Monetize podcast, where you can learn more about live video and all of that. And I have another one called Elevate Your Awesome. And this one is the one that we are really reviving, so that we were going to change it and make it the Authentically Awesome podcast and change the name. And I did a big old announcement about it. It was a pinned post on my Instagram for at least 6 months. I had hundreds of people commenting saying they wanted to do, be on it or listen to it or whatever. And then I just never launched it.
Things happen.
That's okay.
But it's still out. My mom was really sick. My mom ended up passing away. There was like, my arm was in a cast for 9 months. So I had like very legitimate things that were getting in my way. But what I realized was even just saying you have a podcast will get you more conversations.
For sure.
Chris, we are working way too hard. We could just say we have a podcast and then not, and then he's calculating, like, can we get away with that? No, we can't get away with
I'm really big about the fact that what you do around your podcast is actually almost more important than what you do in your podcast, because you can take a podcast episode, repurpose it. You can talk about it, bring people back to it. Now, the podcast itself is obviously where the gold is, but you're missing out on so much if you don't do all these other pieces around it. So we have the Elevate Your Awesome podcast, and we've fully rebranded it, and we're going to be doing a new launch of that, which I'm super stoked about.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's all cool. And I have to say, I'm signing up for classes. We're going to drop some links. And our producer is like saying, hey, if you're not getting with Molly, like, what are you doing? This is a great introduction.
Shout out. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. Do you have any final words, Chris? Was this awesome or what?
This was fantastic. No, very informative. I love that. we get so many things that are like when we talk to people about AI, where it's so specific that it kind of it's very niche. And I'm not saying it loses people, but like I feel like this applies to so many more people and so many more areas because of the approach that you take to it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
No human left behind. We're not going to become a Wall-E world.
I like that you're championing authenticity, being weird. I think more people would, not tend to ostrich if they knew they could just show up and ask crazy, silly questions or,
and be supported by the system that allows you to do that, right? So like we're really big about using AI to help define your ideal client. We're really big about seasoning your AI system. And in Claude, we've built out all of these amazing skills that build out your AI operating system and your agents and all of that, which are the things that are doing things for you rather than just the talking back and forth with ChatGPT. But for those people who haven't fully dug in yet, I think there's still so much opportunity. And if we look at this technology adoption curve, are you familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if Google it, if you're listening and you don't know what that is, but there's the innovators and the early adopters, the early majority, the late majority, and then the laggards. And I think a lot of marketers are saying like, oh, RIP your life because AI is taking over or whatever. There's all of this clickbaity stuff that makes us feel shame. And there is no shame in my AI game. I think there's space for everyone here. And you still have a chance to be part of the early majority, even if it feels like it's super inundated, like the AI space. There's still space for you. Just don't wait any longer because I don't want you to be a laggard.
By the way, the way that you said laggard the first time, that was amazing. It sounded like you were like spitting an insult at somebody in the 19th century. You're like laggard.
She's a thespian.
It's such an onomatopoeic word, right? Like,
and it really is. No, it's perfect. We don't use words like that a lot. Like, you miscreant.
You talk like a pirate. I know. I do like a pirate.
So funny.
Super fun. Okay, well, we're going to put some links in our chat notes. If you're listening out there, you're welcome. For Molly Mahoney, this has been great. Come back to Vegas. I could even get Chris here if we just said, let's all get on stage and do something fun with robots or, a fake cruise. Come on down.
We could do a pretend desert adventure. I don't know. I lived and worked in Vegas for many years. So not many years, 6 months, but I loved it there.
I didn't even bring up, those are stories that you can share for another day, but I was impressed with what I heard in the Wayback Machine. I'll tell you offline, Chris, if you really want to, have some bonus material, feel free to link anybody to any of your awesomeness, Molly.
Yeah. So we have a free, I put together a really amazing free gift for everybody here too, to figure out their ideal client. So you can go to molly.live/AI Boston, which is the link that I'm going to just check and make sure that is right. molly.live/AI Boston. And it'll take you to this glorious tool that helps you to figure out who your ideal client is. And we don't just focus on pain points. We focus on things like tickle points too. So it's really a unique way of looking at your ideal client. So make sure you go grab that.
Molly, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. No,
this
for
has
real.
Been so fun. And people in Boston, she did say tickle. So get ready to have more fun. And as always, like and subscribe. Thanks for the free gifts and for the laughs. You're amazing.
Thanks, guys. So good.
Thanks so much.
We'll see you soon, Molly.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Building AI Boston. Stay tuned for more enlightening episodes that put you at the forefront of the conversations shaping our future.